All right, welcome to Daybreak Plus. It's 9 o'clock here on WGRZ Plus, and take a look at this new video into our newsroom. This is on Manhart Street in Buffalo last night, around 11 o'clock. The video comes from the Facebook page of the group Buffalo Street News 716. We saw Buffalo police blocking off part of the street and parked at a driveway of the home. Details are limited. We've reached out to city officials for more information. Once we get that, we'll update you. And there has been yet another delay in Peter Gerace's sentencing. The judge felt that several matters needed to be handled before a sentencing could happen. The former Faro strip club owner was convicted in late 2024 for drug and sex trafficking in a case that's now dragged on for more than 5 years since he was originally charged in 2021. The court is now expected to hear arguments on Friday. A Niagara Falls man has pleaded guilty to one of the largest drug busts in Western New York's recent history. Edwin Miguel Batista admitted to distributing hundreds of packages of pills and illegal narcotics through the mail from late 2024 to January of this year. He's one of two men charged in the case. The plea deal changes his maximum sentence of up to 40 years to about 16 to 20, which includes federal sentencing guidelines. The federal death penalty case against Tops mass shooter will be back in a Buffalo courtroom later this afternoon. Peyton Gendron is scheduled for a status conference today. This comes after the jury selection process has already begun, with about 3,000 questionnaires sent to prospective jurors at the end of March. The man convicted of trying to kill author Salman Rushdie at the Chautauqua Institution is also back in court this morning. Hadi Matar is currently serving a 25-year state sentence for a stabbing that happened in 2022. It left Rushdie blind in one eye after he was attacked while speaking on the stage at the Chautauqua Amphitheater. Matar now faces federal terrorism-related charges because prosecutors say the attack was carried out in the name of a designated foreign terror group. Today's appearance is slated as a status conference. Questions continue to surround Mayor Sean Ryan's choice for the new Buffalo Police Commissioner. Erica Shields went before the Common Council's Civil Service Committee yesterday. Shields faced some difficult questions about her prior experience as a police chief in Atlanta and Louisville, which were the sites of massive protests years ago. Those protests were sparked by controversies involving use of force by police. Council Majority Leader Leah Halton Pope asked Shields, based on her experience, how she would handle a similar incident here in Buffalo.
In a high-profile use of force incident, step by step, what would you do differently in that 72 hours? It's just that simple.
There's not a playbook. Every incident is different. Communication is key. Holding people accountable is key. I think that we made every effort to do everything as well as we could.
Okay, thank you.
And we are told that a council confirmation vote on Erica Shields as Buffalo Police Commissioner will be held next Tuesday. Niagara Falls police are investigating a crash that sent one person to the hospital and left a puppy injured. Officers say a car slammed into a pole near Crane Creek in a KeyBank parking lot. Police say the driver is now under investigation for driving under the influence. First responders treated the puppy that suffered a severe leg injury before taking it to an animal shelter for further care. Developing in Genesee County, the athletic director of Notre Dame High School is facing charges of forcible touching and harassment. The sheriff's office says 72-year-old Michael Rapone is accused of touching someone inappropriately at Batavia Downs early last month. An order of protection was issued for the victim, and Rapone is due back in court May 5th. Well, we reached out to Notre Dame High School for more information, and while the principal did not confirm Rapone's arrest, she did confirm that he was placed on administrative leave. It is now 9:04, and a man from Texas is charged with DWI after allegedly driving onto the sidewalk and hitting a pedestrian. The crash actually shut down part of West Chippewa early Sunday morning. Buffalo police say 36-year-old Marcus Edwards was driving down West Chippewa and hit the pedestrian on the sidewalk before continuing on and hitting a parked car. The pedestrian was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Firefighters had to battle two fires at the same Buffalo home in a 24-hour span. Crews were called back to the house on Linwood Avenue near North Street just before 9:30 yesterday morning. Officials say the fire started in the attic, the same area as Monday, before spreading to the second floor of the home, which is currently under construction. The first fire caused an estimated $250,000 in damage. Amherst police are warning local business owners about a rise in landscaping vehicle thefts. They say the vehicles are prime targets because they're often left unlocked while crews are working in backyards. Police urge local landscapers to always lock your truck doors, even if you're not going too far, and to always keep valuables like wallets or phones in your pockets or in a locked compartment within the vehicle. Forbes magazine is recognizing Roswell Park Comprehensive Cancer Center on its list of America's best employers for company culture. The publication surveyed more than 200,000 workers at companies that employ at least 1,000 people. Roswell ranked 125th out of 600 overall. It's one of 6 healthcare employers in New York to make the list and one of only 3 cancer centers nationally. All right, well, Patrick, it is a nice start. How's the rest of the day looking?
Pete, we've got lots of sunshine in the forecast today. Temperatures that are going to be on the rise. We hit 58 yesterday. Today, we should get into the 60s. I do expect the clouds, which I was just on the roof. It is totally clear as a bell out there now, as skies have pushed off to the east. And that trend will continue even farther east. So all of western New York should be mostly sunny with temperatures into the 60s. Overnight tonight, because of the clear skies, it's likely going to get a little cooler than it was this morning, but not cold by any stretch. We'll be in the 40s, maybe some upper 30s across the southern tier. And then for your day tomorrow, another day of mostly sunny skies. So we're stringing together 2 nice days in a row. When has that happened recently? So it'll be nice. Rain-free as well after having so many days of rain. And we've also had plenty of warm days too. This is going down as one warm April, as we've been telling you. We've had plenty of 70-degree days already, but there are none in the future. We do not see any temperature getting any warmer than what we may see across the area tomorrow, or maybe for the southern tier on Friday when some numbers there could approach 70. Because as we head into the weekend, we're back into the 50s. And next week, yes, we could make a run in the mid to upper 60s Monday, Tuesday, but then it slides down again by the end of April, which is late next week and the start of May. Temperatures today into the mid 60s, which, by the way, is well above average, believe it or not. We're still, April is not always the warmest month, and average highs are still only in the upper 50s, low 60s. Mid 60s, it looks like, for tomorrow, with, again, plenty of sunshine. All right, I mentioned cooler weather for the weekend and the chance of some rain. It arrives. It looks like Saturday early morning. A front is coming through that's going to be losing some of its oomph as it moves through. What I mean by that is the energy with this system is not great. There isn't a ton of moisture with it, but just enough that we will wring out some light to moderate rain at times on Saturday. And then that rain is on the move, and dry conditions on Sunday and into the start of next week until Tuesday, when we bring in our next chance of some rain. Okay, want to quickly show you the long-range forecast I mentioned, the end of April, early May. There is a trend towards cooler than normal temperatures from the northern plains all the way through New England, as the jet stream pattern is going to kind of take on a little undulation, which means cooler here and severe weather to our west, potentially, heading into next week and beyond. So that's kind of a cooler weather pattern for us. Mostly, when I say cooler, I mean cooler than average. Doesn't mean cold, just cooler than average. Mainly clear tonight, and then tomorrow mostly sunny, temperatures in the 60s. 7-day forecast. There's the wet weather on Saturday. Sunday looks better, all right? Pete, as you tackle your backyard, Sunday's the day to do it.
Okay.
Monday dry, and then more rain on Tuesday.
All right.
Yeah, how was your yard? Is it in good shape? How did it handle the winter?
It's wet. It's very
still
wet.
I know. I'm waiting. We need these
yeah.
couple dry days to dry things out, right?
And a winter of dogs going out in the back The lawn's not in great shape in the back.
You know what,
The front yard's nice.
Right. Isn't that funny? I know. It's like we care more about that because that's what people see. The backyard, yeah, whatever.
Well, one quick question.
Yeah.
You said next week it's going to get below normal. And what is normal for the beginning of May?
So, hey, Laura, what is the average high today? It's like 58? 57, 58. Yeah, so next week, Pete, the average high is around 60, okay? So we will have a few days above normal next week, Monday, Tuesday, but then after that, we're likely going to fall into the normal, if not below normal range, which means most likely some highs in the 50s as we start May.
You know, and I've been doing some thinking. You showed that map the other day of the warmer than average temperatures in April, and it was a warmer month.
Yeah.
And I figured out why it didn't feel like it. It's because, yeah, we had a 70-degree day, but it started out at 38, you know?
Yeah. And by the way, last week where we had a stretch of 70-degree weather, it rained a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, when it's raining and it's 70, yeah, that's not necessarily a great day in terms of like summer feel.
The daytime fluctuations in temperatures has been kind of outrageous.
Yeah.
So straighten that out for us, won't you?
I will do so.
All right. Thank you very much. Stay with us. We're going to take a quick break, but we're going to talk Sabres on the other side. All right, welcome back. 9:13 now on Daybreak and WGRZ Plus. And, well, remember Saturday?
You know what this is?
What's that?
It's the panic button.
Should I push it? Put it away. Put it away.
Should I push it?
Put it away. Put it away.
Okay.
We're right where we were Sunday afternoon.
Okay.
We are even. The series starts again, you know?
I know.
The series is tied 1-1. Sabres just couldn't get things going in game 2 until it was too late. And Boston, honestly, Boston came out strong. They were the more aggressive team last night. They were the better team. I thought the Sabres were the better team throughout the game on game 1, but Boston last night came to play. And yet they had a couple of lucky bounces and I thought inopportune penalties, but they went up 4-0 into the third period. And then the Sabres came back with a couple of consolation goals. Bo Byram and Peyton Krebs got a couple of goals in the third, made it 4-2, but that's the way it would end. Jeremy Swayman, once again, playing incredible as the Bruins just kind of overpowered the Sabres at the beginning part of the game. And Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, I think the problem, one thing with his performance last night, is it's going to be characterized by what I call an unlucky bounce. Sure, it came in from the red line, but it caught on a weird edge and bounced back.
How many times have infielders misplayed a ground ball?
Right.
And the ball just takes a funny hop and it gets by him.
And should he have had it? Sure, but who's going to predict the puck is going to take that bounce? But, whatever. Anyway, we are tied 1-1, headed back to Boston. Channel 2 Sports Director John Scott has more on last night's game.
A different script for the Sabres here in Game 2, outplayed by Boston for most of this affair. The struggles by the home team really punctuated by the issues for Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in net, allowing 4 goals, including that I don't know what happened one for the second Bruins goal, and then the power play. Now 0 for their last 31.
Overall, you're not going to win every game. They got the experience of playoff win, now you experience a loss.
The quicker we get to our game, obviously, the better we're going to play. I don't think we totally got there into the last, 10 minutes or so again tonight. I think we had spurts, but we need a 60-minute effort to beat teams always, but especially in the playoffs.
It's over. Unfortunate thing, I feel like, as I said, there's bad goals and that happens, but, I think 4 is way too many. I feel like we got a good fight back in the third, but, it kind of got sliding, I feel like, for me personally and for the team. But, I think we learn from this and be better in the next game.
I walked in the dressing room. I said, there's a lot of things I like about our team, and I like about our play. There's areas we're going to have to get better at. But I don't want to see one person doubting that we're not going to go into Boston and win hockey games.
The series now tied 1 game apiece and shifting to Boston for Game 3, which is Thursday night at 7 o'clock. From KeyBank Center, John Scott, Channel 2 Sports.
So they're heading to Boston,
yes,
who apparently has one of the best home records in the NHL.
Well, and also they have the best lobster in the NHL too. So, but
Fine.
you know,
He's assuaging my concern.
I'm just saying
It's good.
Once the playoffs start,
Yeah.
all of that goes out the window.
That goes out.
It's
Okay.
who's bringing it that night.
So that's my question. If the Sabres technically didn't really bring it, or they seem what does it take if you're in the playoffs? I mean, why did they take a night off?
They didn't really take a night off. It's just Boston was going harder, and they won. They won one-on-one battles. They won the puck battles. And there are two things that concern me that are both fixable, and we've seen them flip the switch through the season. First of all, the power play is not so much the power play overall. It's the zone entry. That's when they bring the puck in as a team over the blue line. They haven't been able to crack the blue line because they've been doing the same thing pretty much every time. And I think teams have figured it out. And I think that an entirely different approach, and I know there are nuances to the way they change things, but I think an entirely different zone entry would do them wonders on that power play. And this is me, who has never played an NHL game, never coached an NHL game, but this is what I'm seeing just from watching, having watched the game. And the other thing that concerns me is this is 2 games in a row where they've allowed a Bruins player just to kind of sneak behind them. And the odd man rushes last night and game 1 were, I think, those 2 things are what have bitten the Sabres in both games. They were just lucky enough to be the tougher team in game 1, and last night Boston matched that and came with it.
You know whose name I haven't heard just mentioned very much is Delaney. It's like, he hasn't really, I don't know.
He hasn't scored. That's about the only thing that you haven't heard him.
Well, it just, I don't know. He's your captain, and I guess you would think you'd hear a little more.
And he's played, you know, there's an old saying that when you don't hear a defenseman's name, he's
good.
playing well.
Okay.
Because he's not making mistakes.
Okay.
I think,
hey, don't look to me for elite analysis. I was just like, why haven't I heard? But that's a good point.
I thought
you don't want to
say,
hear.
Oh, I haven't heard his name. I haven't heard Rick Dudley's name in a while. Well, he hasn't played in 30 years. So, anyway.
Look at this. These are my concerns as a newer fan to the sport.
And I'm just alleviating them. I'm just alleviating them.
All right.
Benoit Hogue, you haven't heard his name either. Yeah. Anyway, stop it. Game 2, once again, had the city roaring, even in that defeat. It was a little more laid back because, I mean, game 1 was amazing. But there was a lot of anticipation last night, especially after that big comeback. And they packed into Canal Side. Even after the game, they had a positive attitude with the series from this point on. Natalie Faust joins us now from an Alumni Plaza to tell us more.
Sabres fans we spoke to last night aren't ready to give up on their team just yet. In fact, many of them are already looking forward to tomorrow's game in Boston. Many of them trying to figure out how they can make the trip there. Now, right now on Ticketmaster, tickets for Thursday's game are going for about $180. Flying to Boston on Thursday and returning on Friday will cost at least $400 though, and flights are even more expensive flying out of Rochester and Toronto. AAA is recommending that if you want to make the trip as cheap as possible, driving is going to be your best option. They estimate that gas will cost $54 each way. We asked fans how they're feeling going into tomorrow's game, and they say that they're hopeful.
Personally, me, I don't mind being down. I like a nice little comeback story. We did one of those already, and I'm down for another one.
We love the Sabres here. This is a hockey town. It's absolutely a hockey town, and we're ready for a Stanley Cup run, absolutely.
We'll come back somehow, some way, just like the first game.
The Sabres will come back. We're Buffalo.
If a trip to Boston isn't in your future, but you still want to get together to watch the game, there are plenty of options here at home. The official Saberhood party is at Mister's in East Aurora on Thursday. I'm sure if you go to any bar or restaurant in Western New York, though, they're going to have the game on. On your side at Alumni Plaza, Natalie Faust, Channel 2 News.
All right, thank you very much,
You had a question.
Natalie.
How many miles to Boston?
How many miles to Boston?
Okay, hold on. Can I check? Hold on.
We're gonna check the miles to Boston.
Okay, but I'm going to guess 490. Okay?
He's going to guess 490. This is riveting television.
It is.
Because it takes a little over 6 hours, but once
it's
you get
6 hours and 44 minutes, and I said it's 455. I said 490.
It's about a
Hey,
tank. That's about a tank of gas if you if you get good gas mileage.
You get good mileage, yeah.
But the thing about Boston, though, is it could take you 6.5 hours to get to the suburbs,
and then
another 2 hours to get into the city.
Right.
It's one of those cities that you can't really predict. My son played hockey out in the Boston area, and you always had to give yourself a couple hours leeway just in case you get caught in traffic. But anyway, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to see how many miles it is to Sheboygan coming up next.
Okay, how do you spell Sheboygan?
We won't. All right, welcome back. 9:24, and NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman was in town last night for the Game 2 of the Sabres-Bruins, and this time he came back with a big announcement. Last time he was here, he announced the NHL draft would be coming to KeyBank Center. Well, yesterday he talked about the league hosting another big hockey event here in Buffalo.
The Sheboygan International.
Exactly right. But then after that, possibility of a big game coming to Highmark Stadium.
I believe it's not a question of if, it's a question of when we play an outdoor game in the new stadium. We don't hesitate to bring events here. We're bringing the draft. We do the combine here. We do officials training camp here. So yeah, we definitely will be bringing an outdoor game to the new stadium. It's really just a question of when.
There you go. And you will remember the first Winter Classic ever was held at Ralph Wilson Stadium. That's what it was called at the time. And New Year's Day, 2008, and Ryan Miller in the nets for Buffalo. It was a great atmosphere. We brought the whole family. You couldn't have scripted the weather.
Wait, what was it like? Yeah.
You saw the cobalt blue skies at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
And toward the end, this like snow globe type of snow starts falling.
Really? Okay.
And wound up with Sidney Crosby scoring the game winner in a shootout on Ryan Miller. You're sitting there. He's trying to handle the puck in an inch of snow on the ice, and somehow he did it. I guess that's what made him the best player in the world at that time. But it was a great atmosphere. We had all three kids, and I forgot how long ago that was. Until
2008. That was 12 years ago.
Yeah, it was
22 years ago.
Yeah, I looked at the family picture we took.
18 years ago.
Yeah.
Sorry, 18 years ago.
The point is, I looked at the family picture, and Hannah, who's now going to be married in November and is 5'11", and she's just a little peanut at the game, and Ben and Brenna's about to be a mom. It's just kind of,
that's cool.
It dated it for me because it didn't seem that long ago until
you saw, whoa,
I saw the kids.
They're youngsters.
But so a great atmosphere there for that. And I can't imagine what the atmosphere would be like at the new.
How do you play hockey if it is snowing hard? The ice is just going to get destroyed.
You shovel it, and
how often do they stop play and clear the ice?
When they would have a stoppage in play, they'd have people come out and shovel it. Until it got to a certain point, they were shoveling the blue line so you could see that. But they stopped it every so often but it wasn't snowing like an inch and a half hour.
It was just a gentle.
Yeah, it just started to accumulate.
Gotcha.
But I always tell my kids I started playing hockey out at outdoor rink in Front Park, and we had to shovel the ice before the Zamboni could come on to resurface because the augers would get clogged with snow. And when I tell that story, I'm like, oh, I am that old, man.
Yep, you are.
Yeah,
you are.
Sure. All right, well, we've got some good news for moviegoers downtown. We're going to switch gears here. Market Arcade opens today at noon on Main Street in the Theater District. Scene One Entertainment are the new owners, and they're offering $5 tickets today to see classics with a Buffalo tie. Bruce Almighty, The Natural, and The Wizard of Oz, and other classic selections on the big screen. And a portion of the proceeds will be going to Hearts for the Homeless and the Elmwood Village Association. Now, the latest run of Hollywood films will start tomorrow, including the Michael Jackson King of Pop story, The Devil Wears Prada 2, And Super Mario Galaxy will start showing tomorrow.
And speaking of local, Bruce Almighty was based here, but was any of it filmed here? The Niagara Falls
on the green
scene?
screen.
Oh, even the falls was.
Yeah, it really wasn't. It was all those green screen things were shot here, but
oh, they show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was a little disappointing.
And what's? I know the answer. You told me. What's the local angle of the Wizard of Oz?
Well, the wizard grew up here. No, I'm just kidding. Harold Arlen.
Yes.
Who was the composer and wrote all the songs, Somewhere Over the Rainbow. He is from Buffalo.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I think,
he wrote
yeah.
Stormy Weather. He wrote a lot of classic hits from the early 1900s. And Harold Arlen actually was in a band on the Canadiana, the boat that went to Crystal Beach.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
And Ray Bolger, who played the Scarecrow.
No way.
They met on that boat years before.
Always a connection.
There you go. Have a great day, everyone.